The governor will unveil more details on opening businesses like theaters and restaurants. Joining me now is Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor of Texas, and also Marty Davis, President and CEO of Minnesota's Cambria. Lieutenant Governor, let's start with you. Critics are saying that you all have the 10th highest number of cases in the country. So why are you ready to get this reopening thing going?
Well, because we're watching, Laura, the hospitalizations, we're watching the death rate. I don't know if I'm exact on this number, but I think we're the lowest per capita deaths in the world possibility. We have 29 million citizens, and we've had 417 deaths as of earlier today. So our citizens are doing it right. What we've done is working out of 29 million people, and every life is precious and valuable. We don't diminish that. But Texans are ready to get back at work, and today I joined the governor in the press conference, and we're rolling out slowly, smartly, and safely, but we need to get back to work. We can do two things at once. America's ready to get back. Texans are ready to get back, and we're leading the way.
Marty, Minnesota is a very interesting state for a lot of reasons. I love Minnesota. But comparatively, you have few COVID deaths, thankfully. You have been able to control this pretty well. Yet you have a pretty serious lockdown in place, been somewhat relaxed with golf courses, I understand today. That's nice. That's going to be opening. But people are protesting at the governor's mansion. They're saying we're done with this shutdown, and they were out there, and Trump's tweeting, "Liberate Minnesota," Marty. What's going on?
Well, I think there's a lot in the air, and it's moving fast. We went out on shelter in house on the 27th, so we've been out 21 days. Our governor has done really a good job in the last 21 days to steward and navigate our state. I think what caused it's getting lengthy to consider staying out longer. It was extended to May the 4th, and so people are getting very restless. We need to get the businesses and the kids back to school and the businesses back to work, to be sure. I think what alarmed Minnesota was the regional partnership that was created a day ago, with Michigan and Ohio and Kentucky and Indiana and Wisconsin. And I really think that threw an alarm towards Minnesota citizens. Our governor, I think, has corrected that, or maybe not corrected it, but clarified it for us, Laura, and that, well, they're going to have a learning exchange and a collaboration at that level, that, in fact, our governor is going to govern the state independently with reality on the ground here in Minnesota. And he proved that today by opening up golf courses, opening up the lakes, fishing. It's a big area for Minnesota for that aspect, as well as he opened up liquor sales with takeout, and he just signed that bill an hour ago. So I'm actually optimistic that he is going to turn the corner on this thing.
Yeah, well, people are getting restless.
How you come out of it, Laura.
People are getting restless. Yeah, Dan, people are getting restless. Yes. You see at Huntington Beach, California. Right. They've got people at Huntington Beach. You had the Michigan protests. You have the Pennsylvania State Senate saying no to the governor's, very draconian shutdown there. And you just get the sense people want the elderly, especially the vulnerable, to be protected. They want maybe new protocols for a while. But Dan, there's a lot of people concerned that the new normal they say we have to live in is basically what they've always wanted. They want fewer cars. They don't like this idea of necessarily all these Texans in the football stadium all the time. I mean, there's a lot of people worried that their way of life is just going to go along with this virus.
Well, we will get back, I believe, with the president's lead and with the private sector finding a vaccine at some point. We will get back to life as it was. But we're starting now to begin that process. And, Laura, I will tell you what people are really getting upset with, and that's the Democrats in Congress not showing up to do their job. We need the PPP program. You know, Laura, I'm a small business person. Businesses need it. We're out of money in that fund. If I were the Republicans, I would show up every day in the Senate and the House and sit at your desk and say, we're here to do the people's business. And secondly, Laura, I'm really tired of Nancy Pelosi and Congress because they're not hurt by this, Laura. They make $174,000 a year. They haven't had their pay cut. They're at home. They're doing nothing. It's time for them to get back to work. And quite frankly, I think they need to take a half pay cut. And I can speak to that clearly, Laura, because in Texas, Our senators and our House members and myself make $600 a month. We work 50 hours a week. We have the 10th largest economy. We meet every year. We're volunteer public servants. It's time for Congress to take a pay cut so they feel some of this pain that people at home are feeling, because Congress isn't feeling any pain. The people and the small businesses are.
No.
Get back to work and cut your pay and show that you're with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Get back to work. I've been saying this for a month. Where's Congress?
Yes.
I've been for a month. I've been saying,
and they're getting full pay.
Yeah, the state houses all across this country and Congress should have had their butts in their offices doing the work of the American people. It's wartime. Marty, really quickly, you have a lot of workers. You have 900 workers at your plant in Minnesota. Give me an example of how this is affecting the average worker.
I'll give you a good example of what the Lieutenant Governor just said. I had an employee call me from L.A. after the mayor put the policies in 2 days ago, and she said, Marty, I'm no longer concerned about losing my life to the virus. I'm concerned about losing the life I built to the lockdown and the restrictions. And she's a working mother with a 13-year-old and a 2-year-old who's worked her ass off for 22 years to try to build something up. And now she's losing her equity. She's losing her financial security. She's losing a lot of the viability of her career and her future forward financially. And that really is what's driving these people to the streets, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just they want to they want to save their lives. I mean, mothers, fathers, small business owners. We're all in this together as Americans. We want to protect and save lives, but we want to save our way of life. I've never liked the phrase "the new normal." I've never liked that phrase because it portends something different coming down the road long after this virus is gone.
And Laura, all people have compassion for the sick here.
Absolutely.
That's a dirty pool to say that somebody that wants to get back to work doesn't care about the inflicted. That's absurdity.
Well, I know Dan cares about his state, and Greg Abbott, and I hope every governor and mayor has the same goals in the end. It shouldn't be political. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Great to see both of you. Two different states.